Heidi-ho, friends. Before we get started, I need to put out my all-important disclaimer. Everything I'm going to be talking about from now on is going to be from my point of view and my point of view only. What works for me may not work for you, and so it's very important to do your research. So grab a tasty beverage and get comfortable because we're about to embark upon a very controversial subject. My friend over on Facebook, Mike, asked what is the best bushcraft / survival knife on a budget. Well, I decided I'm going to show you the best bushcraft survival knife when you're not on a budget. Okay, you guys get ready? Boom! As you can see, there is nothing here. Now, before you get too excited, please let me explain. What we're going to do here is we're going to show the progression of my blades. I'm going to talk about what they're used for, what they cannot be used for, how much they cost, and where I got them from. And by the end of the video, you may understand what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to start out with my first knife here. This is a folder. This was passed down from my great-grandfather to my grandfather to my dad, and my dad finally gifted it to me when I was about 11 years old. This knife here, it is capable of quite a bit, but not a lot. Let me explain. This is good for cutting cordage, fabric, preparing meals, filleting a fish, skinning a deer, rabbit, and of course a squirrel. You can also make feather sticks with it. This knife has been with me through most of my outdoor experiences. Back when I was younger, it went to scout camp. Yes, I went through the scouting program and did 2 tours in a Camp Philmont in Cimarron, New Mexico. She's seen a lot of usage over the years, and if you really do look at the blade, you can see how much of it's actually missing. Now, this is from Germany, so I talked to Mark of Scouting Free, and he did some research. This is a commoner's knife. So the estimated cost of it back when it was first produced, I'm not exactly sure when, is anywhere from $5 to $10 US. And this was a great knife until I started my YouTube channel, and a friend of mine gifted me this next blade right here. Let's grab it out real quick. Unfortunately, I do not know where this blade has come from, the maker or manufacturer, because I really don't know that much about it, but it's been one heck of a blade. This is also my everyday carry. And of course, this was my everyday carry until I switched over to this one. What this blade is capable of is cutting cordage, fabrics, preparing meals, filleting a fish, skinning a rabbit, squirrel, deer. Also, you can baton small pieces of wood with it. Actually, we're going to switch baton to splitting small pieces of wood. You can strike a spark with the ferrocerium rod, because I did some maintenance to the spline here, so that can happen. I don't know where it came from, but I want to say the estimated cost of this knife is anywhere between $20 and probably $30. As you can see, she's has quite a bit of usage. Let's move on to the next one. This is the next blade I purchased. I got it off of Amazon. This, my friends, is the Cold Steel Bushman. You can do quite a bit with this, such as cutting cordage, preparing meals, fabric, and it's going to be very awkward because it is so darn big, but you can fillet a fish, skin a rabbit, squirrel, deer. Also, you can baton or split medium-sized logs with it. As you can see, I have done that quite a bit, and cut down a small tree. The couple drawbacks with this knife is one that a lot of people don't like is the handle grip is uncomfortable after you use it quite a bit. But this is a 2-purpose knife. If you get into a bad situation, you can turn it into a spear. So it's a multi-purpose blade. That's why I like it. I did get this off of Amazon. It was $24 at the time of purchase. All right, moving right along. This one is a little different. I wouldn't say this is a very good bushcraft blade. This is more of a tactical knife. Once again, it is a cold steel. and it's the GI Tattoo, I think it is. What you can do with this one, that's quite a bit. Cutting cordage, preparing meals, usual of filleting a fish, getting rabbit, squirrel, and deer, which would be awkward because of size. You can baton wood with it, but you got to be very careful. You could cut down a small tree, but the main thing, this is a tactical blade. So I really don't carry that with me when I'm out in the woods that much. Mainly this is in my bug out bag. Another downside is if you're batoning wood, if you notice right here, I have sharpened this edge. You need to be really careful so you don't accidentally, and cut your finger off. Like I said, this blade is a tactical blade, but the handle is very comfortable and it's very freaking beefy. This stays in my bug out bag and my everyday carry. Now this next one, Amazon, and I think this was $26 at the time of purchase. Now this one, I'm not sure what you would call it, but I'm going to call it in my knife category. This is my go-to machete. In fact, back in the day, I used to be an axe man before I discovered machetes. My first one was actually, God, what the hell was that? I've had quite a bit. All right, anyway. Oh, yes, that was the Gerber Gator Senior with the saw on the back. That was my first machete. This is a CRKT Half Chance. This thing has seen it all. This has been my go-to blade for, I'm going to say, at least, 4 years now? Maybe 3 or 4 years. This blade is good for, you can cut cordage with it, material. Skinning a rabbit and deer, not going to happen. Batoning wood. Cutting down medium to large trees. Now, get ready for this one. Digging a trench. Yes, I use this for an entrenching tool. I know, but I got my everything I carry in my pack has to have a multiple use, so I dig holes with this little guy. I actually found it at Walmart on sale for $24 or $25 and picked one up. Now, retail value now is anywhere from $30 to $50, depending on where you purchase it, but you can find these sometimes on Amazon on sale for a decent price. Now, we've looked at all my blades here. Now we're going to talk about combination of blades, because not one of these knives here is going to be the ultimate bushcraft knife. First, we need to pull this one out of the rotation because I'm not using it anymore. Second, this little guy right here is a tactical knife and is in for a bug out situation. So here we have 3 of them. And you know what? We really don't need the sheaths on these. Because I don't plan on cutting myself. Well, let me explain. I carry all 3 of these with me when I'm out in the woods because each one has a different purpose. So basically, this one is for my light duty work and something where I need a sharp blade for, but I don't want to dull it when I'm chopping wood. So I switch over to the cold steel Bushman where I can baton small wood, or I can chop huge pieces of wood and build shelters with it, and so on and so forth. Also, I've used this to move the coals around in the fire, something I don't want to do with this blade right here. So when I'm in the woods backpacking and hiking, I carry this one on my side all the time. In fact, it's my everyday carry. These 2 go in my pack. Now, if I'm out there bushcrafting, these 2 will go on my side. This one will go in my pack. Now, if I'm out there doing some serious bushwhacking, this is on my side, and this is on my side here. This one is on my pack. So you kind of see where I'm going with here. Well, so let's go into another situation. Let's say we get ourselves in a survival situation where we have to actually bug out. Then if things change a little bit, I still carry 4 knives now. These 2 would be on my side, and these 2 would be on my pack. So you kind of see what I'm talking about here. I'm using 3 blades. Let's pull this out of rotation again. Put it away very carefully so we don't have no uh-ohs. That thing is just hella sharp. So basically, I'm using 3 blades to take care of my needs out in the woods. Each one has its own little purpose. One thing I probably should mention, and I will get asked questions about this, is how long they still stay sharp and how well they hold up an edge, or hold an edge real quick. So we'll go through that before we go any further, so I don't have to answer those questions in the comments section. This one I use all the time, and I just run it through the strap about once a week. And it holds an edge pretty darn good. The same with the cold steel Bushman. I was very surprised on how well it holds an edge. With heavy usage, I'll put it on a stone, and a very fine stone, just briefly to take any chips out of the blade, and then I'll go ahead and run it through the strap. Now, the Machete, the CRKT, this one, after I beat the heck out of it, and it holds a good edge for about a week or two of heavy use, I do have to put it on the stone and take any chips out I've put in, and then of course I put it on the strap. And we got that covered. I don't have to answer that in the comments section. Now if you're looking, we've got 3 blades here. So we're going to talk about, oh excuse me, I'm getting kind of parched. Please hold. Much better. Nothing like a little sweet tea in the afternoon. So let's talk about how much money we've actually got here on the table. So let's just say $30 right there. We've got maybe $24, $25. And this one, the price will vary. So what we're going to look at, we're going to say we've got about $100 maybe in knives sitting on the table. So that's under what a lot of the high-end, so claimed ultimate survival and bushcraft blades are. And not one knife is going to do the job for you. So if you were just starting out and you wanted to just do something on a budget, now I'm not saying buy these knives. I'm not saying purchase these knives at all. You need to do your own research and decide which one you want to purchase. But I'll give you a couple tips and a couple things to look for. First, you don't want to get a folder. These are great for everyday use, but they have a weak spot, and that's the folding part of it. So if you're cutting something or trying to maybe even chop something down with it, well, heck, that one's loose right there. I need to tighten that little guy up. That is the weak part of this knife. The next thing you want to look for as we mess up, right, there we go. It needs to be at least full tang, such as this one here. Hit the thumb ram on that. And this little guy here. Full tang means it goes all the way down the handle. That way there's no chance of it breaking. 3, you want to make sure it's comfortable for you to use. I know a lot of people frown upon the Bushman, but it doesn't bother me because I use gloves. And 4, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Basically, the higher the price, it doesn't mean a better product. So I kind of hope you understand what I was talking about. I tried to make it as clear as possible. In fact, this is going to be, I want to say, my 10th take on this video, trying to get my point across. And sometimes that's kind of hard for me to do. So what are your thoughts on that? In closing, basically, 3 knives. They're not the ultimate, but they do the job. So I know you're going to have some comments and thoughts and suggestions. Put those down in the comment section. And like always, friends, thanks for watching. And Mike, I hope that answered your question. If you have any more, please feel free to ask.